Hello, hello, and welcome. My name is Michelle. I am your emotional resilience coach, and thank you for joining me today. Please don't forget to hit like, subscribe, the notifications button. And as always, I do love to hear from you. All right, so today what we're going to talk about are things that sometimes we do, we don't even realize we're doing, and it's because we've come from an emotionally abusive household. Most likely emotionally abusive father. So do stick around and see if any of these things resonate. If they do, please don't forget to share with anyone you think this might help. All right, number one, what we tend to do is minimize our feelings. So what I mean by that is we're very good at ignoring our own emotional needs. If we're feeling sad, we'll say something to ourselves along the lines of, you're just overreacting, or don't be so silly, or why do you always have to be so sensitive, right? These are not our words. These are not things that we would generally say to ourselves, but it's things that our parents would have said to us, our father might have said to us, and we've now internalized it, and this is now a tape playing in our own minds. Suck it up. Everybody has it worse than you. Don't feel so sorry for yourself, girlie. There are better people with worse problems out there. Whatever it is that you say to yourself, you're basically minimizing your own emotions, and you are not allowing yourself the space to feel and work through what you need to. The next thing we do is we latch onto someone who treats us better, and they don't necessarily have to be treating us wonderfully, just better than perhaps your father did. And what happens is that this person could really be doing the bare minimum, to be honest. They could really just be slightly nicer, slightly better in some ways, but really we're just in the same and later on down the line, perhaps worse position than we started in. All right, so we forget our own value, our own worth, and we accept the bare minimum because it's more than we received, which is the reason why it's so important that we build that good relationship with ourselves and that we see and know and understand our own worth. Number three, we overanalyze everything. So whatever is said to us, we will lie there in bed and we will go through the day's events and we'll go through the conversations and we'll think about what he said, she said, how they said it, what I said, what the mood was like, the way it was said, the tonality, the words that were used. And we would try and look for problems. We will look for things that might not necessarily be there. What did they really mean? What did he mean by X when he said that? Right? We really tend to break these things down and look for more things that are actually there. And then what we do is we question them and we cross-question and we have a lot of doubt about maybe their sincerity. And it gets so muddy and so messy because that which is sincere, we overlook and we question and we doubt, and that which isn't sincere, we accept. And it becomes such a horrible, messy thing to untangle. And this is because of the trauma that you've been through. It feels like up is down, down is up, right is wrong, wrong is right. It's a very cloudy, foggy place to be. And so we analyze and overanalyze everything. We need to take a deep breath. And what I did is I just started taking it at face value. As soon as I could feel that I was ruminating, that my brain was going down that road, I would just stop and just have a look at what was. Try and be as, when I say emotionless about it, I mean try and step away from it like you are looking in onto it. It kind of helps us distance ourselves a little bit so we don't get too embroiled in the drama of our own emotions at that time as well, about what was or wasn't said, tone, how it was said, mood, all of that. We can get into a very, very dark hole when we do that. All right. The other thing we do is we walk on eggshells. We're so scared to offend. We're so scared to say the wrong thing, do the wrong thing, that we are always on eggshells. We are always watching for the other shoe to drop. We are apologizing for that which we don't need to apologize for. We are in a lot of tension all the time. I feel like, for me at least, I felt like a lot of the time I was holding my breath, that I was just waiting for something to happen. And this would now go into other areas. So, for example, if people were in a conversation, if people were having maybe even a friendly debate, it's not necessarily something that's malicious or unkind or mean-spirited, they just have different views and they're having a bit of a debate about it, I would find that I would hold my breath, my shoulders would tense, my eyes would be on alert, I would be hyper vigilant, waiting for this to escalate into something horrible, into this really contentious, ugly brawl, right? Just expecting it to become an absolute mess. And so with all of that, the last one that I'm going to point out today is we apologize for everything. A couple of years ago, it was pointed out to me that I would apologize for things that had literally nothing to do with me. So somebody would go through a difficult time and they'll tell me the story and I would say, I'm sorry, I'm so sorry. And the way in which I said I was sorry, they felt like I was trying to take this on, and they're like, but you've got nothing to be sorry for. This, you know, you weren't there. This is not you. And yet I would feel, it sounds so ridiculous, but I would feel that I should be sorry for it anyway. Like, I'm really sorry. You know, we are allowed to obviously have empathy for people and say to people, that's really hard. I'm sorry that you went through that. But there's a balance between having empathy and feeling responsible and trying to take on the responsibility for what somebody else went through and apologizing for that. It becomes one of those things that we need to unravel as people who have complex PTSD, is to detangle what is ours and what isn't. Because as codependents / fawns, people with cptsd, we tend to take on the responsibility of everything. All right, I hope this helped. Please do let me know. Come on over to Instagram, say hi to me there at the Emotional Resilience Coach. Send me a DM if there is something that you would like some clarity on, and I'd come over to YouTube and do that for you here. Thank you so much for tuning in. Please don't forget to hit like, subscribe, the notifications button, and have a most powerful